Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 25 with the Charlotte Silverwolves. Before we get started for today, I'd like to give a huge shout out to a kind soul on Steam named Smelly Wrestling Geek, who's apparently a fan of the channel, who gifted me a copy of Front Office Football 9. So thank you very much. It's very appreciated. Does this mean I'm going to play the game on the channel? It's highly probable. I don't really have an opening right now, but it is definitely on my list for something I'd like to do. Probably not as the Browns, but we'll see. We will see. So, baseball. How did last season go? Well, we won the World Series, which is, I think, a pretty good thing. If I were to ask. What we're doing this episode is trying to make sure that we can prepare to repeat, and we have some very challenging decisions to make to hopefully provide you with some entertaining moments. We have coaching to deal with first, so let's get that show on the road. We would like a new third base coach. Bobby Seymour is really good at everything, so it really doesn't matter what we get, but I would like somebody better than Carlos Amaya. To help cover. So I think if we get somebody to cover the infield and the outfield, I think that would be great. So our first question: do you have anybody that's already in the organization that would fill this role nicely? I have a problem with Santo de Jesus, namely the fact he doesn't like easygoing coaches, of which I have two, but he has like temperamental, which I also have two of. So maybe that's fun, actually. Maybe Senor de Jesus would be the exact right guy for this job. Apparently, he loves RJ Morley, which is fine. I could promote Ben Fritz instead. And Ben Fritz is an easygoing star with easygoing people. Okay, that's fine. Chris Herrmann isn't very good. But he would be nice from a chemistry perspective. His name is, of course, Herm the Worm, which is one of the names of all time. Let's go ahead and just let's look outside, right? Let's look for an amazing third base coach. I would like somebody whose personality is easygoing. And we want somebody who can teach the infield. Nelson Rada. Relationships aren't amazing, but he's a good overall teacher. I think this is a guy we can get behind. He's also super duper young, which I really appreciate, which means he's highly likely to be somebody that can grow with the team, you know? Alright, so that situation is all sorted. We have our man there. We also need a pitching coach for high A. Dennis Torres is amazing. Let's just go ahead and promote him right now. I'm not even going to think about it. Done. So we're going to need a new rookie league manager and a new dude to do things. I really want to make sure we have great mechanics. So John Murrian would be a phenomenal choice. If he'll take the job, which there's no guarantee that he will. I am going to select Jake Wilson as our pitching coach, ? And see how that works out for us. Okay. Coaches have been offered. Next step is, what do we do about Sergio Zapata? So the real question is this. He's obviously a shell of his former self. He can still run the bases okay, I guess, but he's not the hitter he used to be. And there's no guarantee he's going to get any kind of starting position on this club. The question is whether we keep him around past this coming season. And 3.4 million doesn't sound like a lot of money, and it's not. but it could be a lot of money. So I don't think I'd bother. Let's get these situations sorted out because these are far more significant and impactful than what we do about Carmona next year. Or not Carmona. What's his face next year? All right. Juan Carmona wants a lot of money. It is very difficult for me to argue that he doesn't deserve it. He's only gotten better each year. Yeah, I think Carmona has to stay. I can't really afford what he wants long term, but I can afford this. So let's go ahead and give him his 1 year deal for 20 million and call it a day. Carmona is really expensive, but that's okay. Next up is Billy Pickren. $8 million is an awful lot of money, but he has been a pretty productive starter when he's actually started. I think he's fine. I think that is a fine amount of money to spend on a player as talented as he is. Done. Mike Boardman at this point has been fairly productive, especially for a guy who was 13th overall in the draft. But, hmm, confusion. $9 million is an awful lot. Oh, excuse me. No, he wants $4 million. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. I have no illusions that Mike Boardman can't handle, really. Just because I undershot you by 200 grand, you're getting pissy with me? Jackass. Um, Ivanic had a terrible year. A really, really terrible year. There's a lot to argue that it was just bad luck, but I am concerned that his strikeout rate also dropped. There's no reason not to give him another year to prove himself, especially given how much money he's asking for, but it is a situation worth monitoring um going forward. Because Jeff Schumo is a center fielder, I feel pretty good about giving him an extension. If he was a corner outfielder permanently, I'd have very different concerns. But Mr. Schumo, you've shown me enough that I think you can handle yourself, and I will give you a new contract. This brings you to Phil Savage. There is a lot to like about Phil Savage. He's a really talented reliever with a ton of production, and he's just a really good pitcher. He also wants almost $10 million. And while he's a very, very good pitcher, that's a hard sell for me when I have so many other pitchers that have some upside to them. Or I could pick up a pretty inexpensive free agent and approximate his value. I don't think it's smart to pay him that much money, especially when he's not even going to be closing, because that'll either be Roca or it'll be. I mean, I guess here's the value of Phil Savage, right? The fact that he could start under the right circumstances, I guess. I feel like getting a decent haul for him now is more valuable to me than keeping him around. So let's do that. It is a bit of a gamble. Don't let me persuade you that it isn't. Um, he's not. I don't have a ton of top tier relief options, but I do have some interesting ones, and I'm sure I can find a decent one in free agency if I have to. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go and shortlist him because I want to see what happens to him. But if I can get an okay prospect for him, or even several, I think it's a trade we have to make. Just to keep costs reasonably okay, and yeah. I can get a green and two yellows. I can get a really good green and a yellow. I'm not obsessed with getting uh two or more greens. I would like to. Alright, so two deals really stick out to me. The one for Mr. Valenzuela and the amazing Colt Stufflebeam. Let's start with him. Valenzuela is a super talented outfielder. Super duper duper talented. He's got so much upside. He's a little on the small side, I guess, if I was going to find a criticism, but he's got elite contact, great power, and a good, well-rounded skill set who can also play the outfield with some level of competency. Mr. Stufflebeam here is a tremendous defender, but has very little chance of making a major league roster when he's not a very good hitter. I could see him filling in as like a fourth or fifth outfielder type, but that's about it. Apart from his name, which is Hall of Fame worthy. Let's not talk about Eric Roach and Julio Fregoso. Eric Roach is a really good prospect. He's actually quite talented, but he's also very, very raw. He's got some good on base skills. He's very, very fast, and he can play a decent bit of outfield. He is a good player, and he might be a great player one day. However, I don't think that day is coming anytime soon. A guy who's never spent a day in the high minors basically shouldn't have been in the majors last year, and it's clear he was overmatched. Now, that doesn't mean we can't acquire him and send him to AAA and let him figure some shit out. And I do need more depth in the outfield, right? So it's like Roach is totally off base. What about Fregoso here? Fregoso is just fine. Roach is a really good player. And if I was desperate for an outfielder this year, I would consider it. But he needs time to grow in the minor leagues. If Ametix was going to need to grow in the minor leagues anyway, I'd rather take a higher quality prospect like Valenzuela. I'm going to go ahead and discuss this deal, though. I'm going to see if I can't get you to add in somebody else. Someone else. Yeah, that doesn't really thrill me. Not really my scene, man. I guess he's okay. It's useful to have another good quality pitching, another decent arm in my system. I just don't know that he's a decent arm. He is the middest of mid-tier arms. He's very tall but quite thin. He doesn't allow many home runs, but none of his pitches are terribly exciting. As a throw-in, I would take him. But if he's not going to offer it right away, I don't think that works for me. David Estrada is much more exciting, if not for his arm strength. But he's also super duper young, and there's always a chance that he could develop into something special in the right system. Maybe our system is that system. I'm going to try to ask for both of them, and I just want to see what kind of offer we get back in return. I got a reply. No, if you want any additional players whatsoever, it better be somebody I'm not going to keep anyway. Yeah, none of these guys are worth trading for any of these, so we will keep looking and try to find somebody that they're a little bit more likely to part with. Jorge Escalera is really, really good defensively. I don't think his bat's ever going to play in the majors, and he's also limited because he makes a lot of errors. I don't think he's the best fit, but I'm at least willing to entertain the possibility. No, you love Escalera. He is your favorite player of all time. That's fair. I like Lonnie Niemeyer quite a bit. He's certainly not an offensive powerhouse by any stretch of the imagination, but he's got pretty good overall skills. Can I get Lonnie here? No, not automatically. I would take Randy Mills if you're willing to offer him up. No, Randy Mills is a bridge too far. Damn. Every time I see a player that actually would intrigue me, I have a high suspicion you won't give him. Like Greg Kopp here. Look, he's nothing special, but converted into a relief role, he might actually be something pretty great. I will wait one additional day. If he still gets stupid about it, I'll just take the offer he initially made. Yeah, I'm not giving any of those players up. Yeah, I'm just gonna make this deal. I'm sorry the fans are bummed out about Savage. It wasn't worth the money. It was not worth the money, in my opinion. Um, Plus, we can now add on when free agency is declared. We can add on a decent reliever or two and approximate his value pretty effectively, I think. Let us now. I wonder if we have any chance at all of trading Zapata. That seems like a hard no, right? Hmm. Hmm. Um, Jeffrey Craig. Because Jeffrey Craig can also pitch, I feel like he's a weird guy. But he's actually a pretty decent pitcher. I think he gets to be added to the 40 man and we'll figure out a role for him potentially. Along with Dan Sutton. I don't want to lose Guifon Saito because I think he is a pretty good player. But at the same time, I don't think he's ever going to crack the majors. At least I don't think so. I mean, he's arguably as good as Chris Mossbacker. So maybe we do go and add him to the roster and see how it works out. Chris Acop is not a shortstop. But he is a fairly good player, and I think he's also worthy of a Rule 5. I don't want to lose him to the Rule 5, so I will add him to the roster as well. I don't need waivers. I need my Rule 5 eligible players here. So question becomes Gilberto Jimenez. Is he a guy that I'm willing to put on the 40 man? I don't think I am. I think trading him is reasonable, especially if I can get a great prospect in exchange for him. I just don't rate him very highly, point blank. And if we can use this as a way to upgrade our pitching development, perhaps. I saw a 55. There's a 50. There's a 50. It's first baseman that are being offered up. I mean, teams are definitely into him, which is nice. I'm certainly not unhappy about that, but it seems like I'm not getting great offers. If I ask for pitching specifically, what does that market look like? We have Eric Brotherton, which is a pretty great name, all things considered. He's not the most exciting pitcher. Um, he does have a season of major league experience, I guess. I'm gonna keep looking, but I would make this trade at the moment. But I would like to try to find someone with a bit more upside to them. Our old pal David Estrada, who we looked at earlier, we were pretty impressed by him. I think this is the kind of guy we can get behind. I know he's raw as shit and he's got a lot to learn, but I think he's genuinely a good pitcher. We could also trade for somebody like Jorge Vargas to upgrade the bullpen right now, and that's what we're gonna do. You're exactly the kind of guy that I'm looking for. Gilberto Ramirez isn't likely to hurt us, and I know he is being paid a little bit of money, but it's not a huge amount, and he's really good at his job. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Complete trade and add him to the roster. Done. This takes a lot of the sting out of losing Phil Savage, in my opinion. He's a really good pitcher who's young. He's not very expensive. There's good stuff that can happen with him, so I'm pretty pumped about that. All right. I do want to clear off some room on the Rule 5 roster. Is there anybody who just outright sucks? I think Fournier and Cheney can both be waived without too many risks of bad things happening to us. I just want to make sure that there's room for us to grab some Rule 5 guys if we determine that's the right solution to our problems here. Let's go to free agency filings here. John Marion wants more money. Yeah, he doesn't want more money. He wants a better job. And that's fine. I don't begrudge him that. But that means it's just not going to happen. So let's acknowledge that that's not going to happen, and let's just find somebody who can handle our stuff. It, John Murray would be an amazing coach, but I think we can settle for Johnny Gomez. Johanny Gomez. Pickren, Ivanic, Carmona, fans are pumped. Lots of people are pumped. We got our pitching coach and our third base coach. Excellent. Let's go ahead and set things up. We've already done it for me. Fantastic news. I want you teaching the outfield. I want Bobby Seymour teaching the outfield, and I want you teaching the infield because you're really, really good at it. There we go. I love it. Yeah. Oh, you're the GM. I was looking at Scott Hooen. Yeah. Hey, did pretty good his first season as our manager, so I think he's earned our respect for sure. The fans have done some Shumo. That's excellent. Yeah. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep Carmona. I am deeply concerned about that, actually. We'll see what happens. But the problem is, people are just making so much money next year, like Carrillo and Jarvis. I think something's going to have to give. I just don't know what that is yet. I would love to get rid of Juan Gavirat. For the amount of money that he's making, I don't think he's a good player. Let me quickly try to see if anybody's willing to take him off my hands. It's probably good. Oh, people are really into him. It's gonna make the fans sad. Honestly, they can get the fuck over it. Steve Figueroa is decent. I wish he didn't play third base because I'm pretty well set at third, but that's I'm getting genuinely good offers here. Which make me feel really good about trading Gavirat to free up some payroll room. All right, Juan Aguilar, good power and BABIP, not a very good batting eye, good fielder, definite possibility. Ishmael Pedrasas is too expensive. I'm not willing to take on payroll if I don't have to. Dan Mabone. What a name. What a name. Excellent power, an okay ability to hit for average, doesn't strike out a ton. He could be good. I could get behind that. What if I just sorted by outfielders? Or just, yeah, outfielders, let's say. Vicente Montalban is pretty well rounded, actually. But all he is right now is well rounded. He's not the kind of guy that could take a big role and be effective, I don't think. But he is okay. He definitely has something to recommend him. Jesus Herrera has elite power and BABIP, and I like his overall cut of his jib. I especially like the fact that he can handle all three outfield spots, which makes him a great choice for a reserve. I saw that I didn't set anybody up in the training thingy, but maybe this is about the time to do it. Let's go ahead and acquire Herrera. I'm sorry the fans are sad, but this was a move that had to be made. It had to be made. And while he might really enjoy his time with the Twins and be pretty dominant, the truth of the matter is we weren't getting what we paid for. So, do I feel great about it? No, but I'm getting myself out of my own bad situation, so I'll take it. I'll take it. Let's get the player development set up now that I've reminded myself of it. Tommy Einberger might very well be taking over in right field as soon as this year. I need you to get your ability to hit for contact online. Um, Guifon Cito is pretty good. I don't think he needs any specific training. I want to get prospects trained up. Mr. Caballero, you need to learn a new position, and it can't be second base. I still think the world of you, and I think you've got so much potential, but you need a new position that isn't first base. We'll see what you decide on, but Emmanuel Bachman, please work on your plate discipline. Mr. Valenzuela, I'd like you to work on your plate discipline as well. Remember, it's always the right answer to work on plate discipline. So I just picked running mechanics because I'm stupid. There you go. Local man has brain damage. I want to work on a couple of pitchers too, if I can, if this is permitted. I want to work on Jeffrey Craig, and I wanted to work on his control. He ended up having a very big role on this team that I didn't expect this year. So, and then Lawrence Pinkson can also work on his plate discipline. There we go. So right now our starting right fielder becomes Zapata, which doesn't fill me with joy, but is acceptable, I suppose. I guess. Like, I'm not going to sit there and tell you for sure that it's a bad thing. I'm just not convinced it's a good thing. Josh Shepard is a decent relief pitcher with a great fastball, throws fairly hard. Control isn't the best, but this is okay, I guess. David Montenegro is nothing special, but I also don't think I would want a player that's this old already. So let's trade Montenegro separately. Prospects of any flavor. Let's go. If the people want them some guy who can't play second base at all, then that's what they'll get. Any greens? One green. Mike Krim. I'm not taking somebody onto the roster, thank you. I could use a nice backup offensive catcher. That's a thing that we could use. David Vega's pretty good, actually. I think David Vega is a fine addition to this club. Can I get greedy? Maybe. What about Jim Brogdon? How about that? No, that's expected. That's expected. I think Stefan Simeon, especially as a left-handed pitcher, would be a very fine arm in our organization here. So if this pleases you, then it pleases me as well. Roca got all but one first place vote. Good for him. Good for you, pal. You had a great season, admittedly. All right, you two guys both cleared waivers. Off you go. Almost. You're asking for really great players in exchange. I guess you're asking for great players in exchange. Like, Juan Delgado is okay, I guess, but it isn't exactly like. Basically, Semien is a more polished version of Delgado. It's a straight up upgrade. Let's make it happen. Done. We're really helping to restock. We're not getting great arms in the organization. We're getting good ones, and I can settle for that. Andy Gillens is our Silver Slugger first baseman. Nice. Nice. What does Mr. Gillens want out of curiosity in terms of a long-term extension? He's not that unreasonable. I'll talk to you later. I will definitely talk to you later. All right, what do we want free agency? I want another relief pitcher. Ideally, one who doesn't cost us very much money, but I want another relief pitcher just to make sure the bullpen is really deep. I wouldn't mind a starting pitcher as well. I'd like to have the option to pitch guys like Dan Sutton or Jeffrey Craig as a starter if I wanted to, but I don't want to feel mandated to do it. You know? I have a trade proposal. Do I? Hmm. Hmm. Meh. Chad Warden is pretty decent. I'm less enthusiastic about Kwang Rock Kim, but I want to keep my options open. So I will politely decline. We ended up getting Manager of the Year. Well done, Scott. Well done indeed. All right, let's chat. I like Willard LaFontaine a lot. He's pretty young too, and he's a really good pitcher. I don't know why you're not keeping him, given all he's asking for, but I will be the man to bring him along. I'm not going to guarantee the rotation though. I draw the line there. I'm not gonna do it, man. I can't. I cannot guarantee you that job. So if you don't want to be a reliever, that's fine. You can go fuck yourself. Jesus Fuentes is pretty good. I think he would be a decent option for us, potentially. Well, everyone wants the fucking rotation spot. Like, I'm not going to guarantee you that stuff, okay? Is that old friend Nate Quinn still hanging out? I remember you. Yeah, I'm not going to sign you. Hmm. This is not a great free agent class. Not a great free agent class at all. Nah. Mm-mm. Not gonna. Let me look at pictures specifically, and let's try to break down what our realistic options are here. I could bring Chris Cram back. I was really disappointed by how well he performed for me, and it looks like he actually performed worse for the Dodgers, so I don't think that's a smart idea. I like Alexis Villatoro a lot. I don't know how much he's going to pitch, but I think he offers some pretty exciting possibilities here. But I'm not going to guarantee him 3 years. You'll take a team option and you'll like it. If that works for you, that works for me. That is a reasonable choice. I did not neglect to notice his injury proneness, but I could take Willard LaFontaine and just lie to him. I think that might actually be a good idea. Yeah, let's do it. I'll give you. I'll promise you the rotation. I just won't. I just won't do it if I feel like I don't want to. Let's look for any interesting potential guys that are just high potential that maybe will take a minor league contract, even if they're not finished products. Nah. I'm not saying he's not a good player. Do you want a major league contract? No, if you'll take a minor league option, then I will give it to you. That's fine. Anybody else of interest to me? Alfredo Amaya is not bad. We can give him a contract offer. Sure. Alejandro Ayala would actually make low key a pretty solid choice as a supplementary infielder. I can do that. And there's one other contract thing I've just happened to notice. I noticed we actually have a lot more money for extensions than I thought. I want to have a long, hard think about whether we want to re-sign Carmona to a big old contract. Ernesto Campos, you can have a nothing contract. You can have a shiny red penny. And I also bring on Andres Luna as a minor leaguer. That's fine. Do we want to keep Carmona? Is that a thing that we should be doing here? Okay. What does Carmona have in his favor? He is 27 years old. He's been fairly durable since he started for us. Um, he works hard. The fans love him, and he's pitched pretty effectively. However, he also wants to get paid a lot of money, like a lot of money. I don't know if that's a good look for us. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's fine, but I'm not convinced that it's fine. There's also the question of, do we keep Zapata around out of reserve contract? I don't think so. I know he's willing to take a pretty hefty pay cut, but unless I have a really good reason to give him another contract, I'm not going to. If I could get him to accept that he is a reserve outfielder and he played anywhere like 2044, I would consider it. How much does Carmona want again for his long-term deal? That's a lot of money. That is a giant sack of cash, and I don't know that I'm prepared to give him that much money. I also don't know where we are pitching wise if we don't do it. You know, if this is gonna happen, I need the team option to get me out of 2050, and I also want it to be a team option here in this year. Yeah. Basically, here's my thinking: if he doesn't opt out, I want the option to opt out if I have to. I think I'm overpaying him though. Is the problem? Mm, let's give him another year. Let's give him another year, and we can come back to it. What kind of deal are we looking at to keep around Billy Pickering? If we look at a long term, let's say a 5-year deal. I don't hate it, but again, I think we wait. Especially since Billy Pickering has lost some of his stamina, which means I can't count him to throw a whole bunch of innings anymore. Is there anybody that I'm really excited about that I want to try to lock up now before they get super expensive? Andy Gillens might be one of those guys. But also maybe he isn't. Yeah, I just feel like there's nobody that I feel passionate about to commit to right now. Daniel Roca, maybe? Maybe. I don't know, man. I just feel like right now my best scenario is just to keep plugging away. Give all this another year to percolate and then come back to it. Because I don't feel obligated to sign anybody to a long term deal. If I was gonna do it for anybody, it would be Carmona. And I just don't know if the Carmona fits what I'm looking for right now. Audio to activate you too, that's true. It's a true statement. Im is decent, I guess. Eh, Joe Brook is somebody I feel pretty confident I can move on from. If I wanted to trade you, what could I get in response? Some okay players. I like the sound of that. Eli Barker is legitimately a good pitcher. I could see adding him along, but I want to keep looking. Okay, Eli Barker is it. Yeah, let's do it. If I could get another prospect, I would take it. I just don't think it's very likely. Like Luis Rojas is not going to happen here. And I'm not willing to put in anything else to get Luis Rojas. I just don't think that's very smart. Omari Bethea is such a weird offensive skill set that I don't think he's worth taking any kind of risk on. I just don't. I mean, he'll give them to me. Let's keep looking. I just want to be in as good a position as possible. But already I'm liking this trade a lot. I'm not saying Joe Brook doesn't have a future in the majors. I just don't think he has a future with us. Um, I'll shortlist him though because I do want to see how he does going forward. Watch me like 75 home runs a year, and I just look really stupid. Mm. I like Jun Huang Bei a lot because he's not a starter, which means if I turn him into a reliever, I should get a nice return. And I would actually add on another player for the right. Are you asking for really great players? You're asking for really great players. I don't think. What if I drop Bethea and just asked for Bay and Barker? Is that a thing? No, it's not a thing. Maybe it's a thing. Mm... I'm gonna keep Jesus Ochoa anyway, but I actually no, I think I will actually. He's got a pretty good skill set here. I guess I'll just take Barker and that one kid Bethea and call it a day. There we go. Oh, sorry, another trade was offered, wasn't it? I missed this one from the Cubs here, sorry. David Burgos is really good. Like, he is a really good relief pitcher. And the thing about Makai Leckie is he might be okay, but he's very far away from that day. I will make this trade in a heartbeat. That's a nice upgrade to our bullpen now. That's a very good upgrade to the bullpen. I am proper happy about that one. I have too many good players, and I don't have a ready place to put them. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Hall of Fame voting. Jackson Chorio. Andy Giacoletto. We're gonna go for it. I don't think he's gonna make it, but we're gonna try it. Wyatt Langford, sure. Colson Montgomery, okay. Rogelio Ocampo, fine. Zach Stever and Grayson Rodriguez, yes. Fernando Tatis Jr., sure. Jeff Swagger, I see no reason why not. Vergara, Walker, Bobby Witt Jr., James Wood. I have two more slots. I don't feel strong enough about anybody on this list to throw in another vote. I don't want to be the reason somebody doesn't make the Hall of Fame, so I'm going to take a really quick look for the high percentage guys. Yeah, I can vote for Orion Kettering, I guess. And Junior Caminero. There we go. Done. Submit. And Rule 5 time. What I should probably do I have a whole bunch of players that are all roughly the same skill level, and I just need to figure out what I'm gonna do with all of them. So Mr. Viatoro here is exactly what we wanted. Fills a number of roles. I think it means we say goodbye to Mike Johnston. I'm gonna quickly trade him if I can for any kind of interesting prospect, perhaps. Juan Serna, maybe, maybe. If I can get Vilsaint and Serna, I would be very pleased. Is that legal? Is that a legal baseball play? Can I get both people? You want more time? You can have more time. But not too much more time. Yeah, I'm not giving you any genuinely good players for this, so I will happily drop. I'd honestly rather have Vilsaint than Serna because I think Vilsaint is a little closer to being Major League ready. So we'll just submit the offer. Unless it has to be Serna to make you happy. Fuck you. You're willing to do it for just Serna 5 seconds ago. Now you're like, no, I want more. Okay, I don't know why you're drunk, but I'll take it. People are thinking Caballero has picked up left field. I didn't expect that. I don't think he's very good at it, but I appreciate you learning something new. I guess. Let's slide Mr. Viatoro onto the roster. I am Groot. This is just going to be a fascinating season because I think we're basically returning the exact same team, and the changes we're making haven't been massive. I do think trading Gaviret was the right decision, though. I think that's very smart, and I think it's going to put us in a good position to have more flexibility. Um, I think Zapata playing every day is going to be a mistake, but that's all right, I guess. And then y'all are playing in the minors. I think I probably don't do anything in the Rule 5 this year. Well, I do think there's players that might be useful. Wait, didn't I just trade for you? I did just trade for you. Oh no, you are minor league. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna auto draft, and if people get taken, they get taken. I actually did want to keep Ochoa, didn't I? I did want to keep Ochoa. That was foolish of me. Who even is Nate Larson? Okay, fine. Wait, Simeon? Didn't I just trade for him? That was dumb. That was real dumb. Wow. I don't know how in the fucking hell that happened. I need to pay more attention to that stuff, so that's on me. A lot of people were taken off of my team, which is interesting to me. How many of them will stay? I don't know. I hope some of them come back, but it is what it is. We were not careful enough, and we have paid the price for it. Oh, that's right. I was going to play with Frank Barella, wasn't I? 74 home runs is completely nuts, man. That is a wild season, especially when he didn't even finish in the top three in WAR with 74 home runs. Let's have a look at him. Let's have a peeky peek. You saved those database files, OOTP. You saved them good and hard. That's what we like to see here. Any day now, game. Let me cancel it because I want to look at Varela. I want to be like, yo, what's your deal, bro? Eric and Fuso just got a new contract. That's very reasonable for something that he might be able to provide. I think he has adjusted his salary demands. Remember when he wanted like $20 million from us? That was never going to happen. Sergio Crio's opened his own restaurant. That's fantastic. Congratulations, Sergio. I hope you enjoy it. It's called Carrillo's Restaurant and Grill. I mean, memorabilia. I mean, I guess he did win a Cy Young, and he does have a handful of World Series. I guess that's reasonable. I guess. Is he a Hall of Famer? He's super borderline. He's super duper borderline. Maybe someday. LaFontaine signed with the Mariners. Jesus Fuentes signed with the Phillies. Campos signed with Albuquerque. Hall of Fame voting. Wood, Caminero, and Swieger all made it. Giacoletto is not going to make it. I have come to grips with that. He may be my dude, but regardless, he is not making it. Right. Things. Baseball things. What if we maximum baseball right now all over the place? What if we did that? Right, Varela. Sorry. Mr. Frank Varela here. What kind of career has he had? Yeah, Connor pointed out how good a season he had, and I just totally missed it. He does have legit power. He did hit 50 home runs back in 2039. 74 home runs. Like him really just 3661. Finished 5.6. He did win MVP. I don't know why when he wasn't as good as other players, but sure. I mean, 74 home runs is hard to argue with, right? He also led the league in strikeouts by quite a bit, and in ribbies, and in slugging percentage. Where does 74 home runs rank in our universe here? I guess when a guy sets a single season home run record, he's got kind of an unfair. He set two records: all-time strikeouts and all-time home runs. What a guy! What a guy! It is one more than Barry Bonds got in 2001. I was curious if anybody else had gotten anywhere near 70, but it looks like the answer to that is no. What a guy. Nice. Let us continue forwards with more baseball decision making. Um, I don't think there's anybody I'm particularly interested in trading for or against. I should probably take some time and just sort out some of these log gems that I have to get really great players. I just don't know how available they'll be. Um, you are a fascinating player, and I think I'm gonna make a very hard pass on you. You have a lot of offensive talent, and you're an okay defender, but you're terrible at making plays, and you also strike out all the time. I don't know how I feel about that. I like Benavides slightly more. I think he's much more well-rounded, and he's also a decent outfielder as well. Navito's quite good. I could get behind Navito. Let's try for Benavides first and see how that looks. Fine. I'll be lazy, or the opposite of lazy, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Ask for response. I think whoever ends up getting Kativo is going to have somebody who could potentially be legendary, but I think that is not probable. All right. Is there any one position I'm so deep at that I'm prepared to make some trades? I feel like I have a lot of outfielders that'll have roughly the same skill level. If I could turn them into a better outfielder, I guess that would be useful, but I just don't think that's going to be possible. We can look. I can certainly consider it. But that'd be something pretty special. Where'd Caballero go? There he is. Yeah, I don't know. I think we have a very deep bullpen. Very, very deep. We have a lot of highly talented pitchers who can all offer us something at the right time. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm pretty jazzed about it. Yeah, I feel like I don't have a clear idea what our actual weaknesses are in order to start spending a lot of time trying to get new strengths. And so I think that may be something that reveals itself as we get deeper into the season, rather than taking a bunch of time right now and trying to find the perfect player. That is my opinion, anyway. And maybe my opinion is wrong. Maybe my opinion is wrong. I have a personal message. Oh my. We did get Benavides, which is excellent. Any big changes here? Not really. Hmm. How bad, out of curiosity, would Caballero be as a second baseman, or as a second baseman or shortstop? He's an okay second baseman. I don't know that he's a good shortstop. Heil definitely isn't. Okay. Okay. On the one, I feel like giving up on Caballero would be a potentially stupid decision. I think he just needs a lot of time in the minors anyway. So I'm just going to leave him be. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to leave him be. We're going to let him develop, and then we'll see how things go as time progresses. All right, personal message. Spring training begins. Is there anybody who isn't on the spring training roster who needs a chance? Men's, Bach, Amaya, Ayala, Weber, Letici, Deliston, Scanadore, Osborne, Tavar, Medina, Moores, Wilson, Hindman, Schneider, Bontrager, Stufflebeam, and we'll say Tim Wood. Actually, I want to add on another catcher. Maybe I don't care actually. You know what, Jimmy Osborne? I think you can stay. Let me send down Stufflebeam, even though his name is amazing, because I want Mike Woods to get some playing time. There we go. Let's get through spring training then, shall we? I mean, it wouldn't be a season without Casey Choate's arm just disintegrating. I say his arm made of Swiss cheese, but I think I actually would prefer that his arm was made of Swiss cheese. This contract just keeps getting worse, guys. If I had a little bit more extension room, I would strongly consider just cutting him at this point. Swiss cheese would be an improvement. Paper mache would be an improvement, given how frequently he gets injured. So you got worse at plate discipline. Thanks, game. But you all got better, which is cool. I genuinely don't know why Choate hasn't retired. I genuinely cannot fathom why somebody who's been injured as frequently as he has is like, I'm just going to keep going. Unless it's just, I want to get paid, which I respect. That's fine, Dan Sutton. I don't know why you're talking to me. Like, just rest. You know? If you know, you know. I don't know that. I don't remember that person at all. It's not funny. I remember who. Oh, I remember who this. That's that first baseman that we acquired, and just played for the one season for us because he wouldn't sign with us. I remember that now. Damn, I'm surprised I do remember him though. Stuff is happening in a good way, but not a great way. Yeah. Okay. Don't want to play till opening day. Want to play till a couple days before opening day, just in case there's any kind of service time stuff we have to be concerned about. I know he won't, but if Zapata would consider being demoted to the minor leagues, I'd actually be okay with that. I know that he won't. I know that he's going to be like, no, I want to play in the majors. I've earned your respect, which he has. But I also know that he's not the answer to any kind of question right now. Unless it's who do I wish would take a demotion to the minor leagues. All right. So who is seriously injured? Currently, nobody. Great. Why are we not starting Carmona? Because they're randomly starting Jeffrey Craig and Dan Sutton instead. We will have words about that, but we'll worry about that here in a second. Let's get rid of 20. Let's get rid of 13 pitchers. Ready? Go. 1, 2. Not Pickering. 3. I still have way too many pitchers. Like, so many pitchers. I don't even know how to fathom it. Pickering won't take a demotion. Burgos might. Let's send Burgos to the minors. Pickering does. Oh, no, 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 no. Not you. You stay up. You I like. Pickering is the guy I was trying to send down. I got excited for a second. They're like, wow, he took demotion? No, he wants to stay on the Major League roster, for which I can't blame him. Wilson to the minors, for sure. Valiant to the minors. Vega to the minors. Wiggins to the minors. Okay, so to keep in mind that both Sutton and Craig are considered. Sorry, Sutton, Woods, and Craig are all considered pitchers. So we're actually at 14 pitchers. So I really need to get rid of one more. Maybe two. I guess we can send down the Golden Corral. Okay. I'm not keeping Woods and Sutton. Woods to the minors. Moore's to the minors, and I think Weinman stays because of this weird obsession with making Sutton a pitcher. I'm gonna try Caballero. I just don't think he'll ever have a chance to succeed on this club, and I want him to have a chance to do so elsewhere. Let's give him a bit of a trade. Jesus Venegas is thoroughly unremarkable, but has a good power bat. I could get behind that. Buenostra actually plays all over the infield. I think he's the very clear winner right now. Joe Smith is pretty good too, though. I think Buenostra is actually the best player available, though, so I think we'll take him. I know the fans were like, "Oh my God, Sergio Caballero, the guy who's never played a single day in the major leagues. He's so crucial to us." So we still have Craig, and we still have Sutton listed as pitchers. I think Craig's also gonna go. Maybe, maybe he stays. He's not a terrible choice to stay, actually. If that's the case, I'm taking another pitcher. That's the problem. And Viatora won't take a demotion either. That's frustrating. It's more frustrating, by the way, that you're forcing Sutton and Craig to start, which I don't want to happen ever. Like, you literally have Juan Carmona. He is starting. That's not up for debate. Why would you think he's not starting? Like, be real for a second, guys. So then who do you bench? You bench Phil Sullivan. Like, I don't mind that. I don't think Phil Sullivan's a starter anyway, but bro, I don't know what you're fucking talking about here. I think you're drunk game, but sure. So that's the case. They're not really position players. They're just pitchers that happen to be able to play a position too. Okay. Then I need to get rid of. Do I need to get rid of any pitchers? I think I need to get rid of one more pitcher. If I can. The problems of two pitchers that I really take rid of are Viatoro and Billy Pickering, and I can't get rid of either one of them because it won't take a demotion. If I trade Viatoro, does anybody want him? Probably not. Some people do. Okay. You know what, Ishmael Camus, you're in the driver's seat right now. Jorge Ramon isn't terrible. Luis Villarreal. That's my guy. Let's do it. There we go. This gives us a total of like 12 full-time pitchers plus Sutton and Craig. This is still excessive, but at least Sutton and Craig can at least do backup stuff. All right. I have to carry 3 catchers. That's the worst part about Sutton. Is he's not a real catcher, which means, yeah. I think Jeffrey Craig goes to the minors. I think that'll also help solve some issues. Because I'm going to guess he has a really good pitcher, though. Damn it. Yeah, fine. Which means that I really don't. No, it's okay. Because they can also serve in other roles, too, so. What if I did send Weinman to the minors and just let Sutton back up full time? I think that's what has to happen. Letizia to the minors, Ayala to the minors. I want Caballero playing every day, so we're going to send him to the minors. Mr. Ambrose to the minors. Buck Medina to the minors. Chris Akoff to the minors. Mossbacher to the minors. Scanandore to the minors. Let's start trimming down outfielders. Amaya to the minors. Bontrager to the minors. Delliston to the minors. Wood to the minors. Tavar to the minors. Schneider to the minors. I'm going to come back to men's. Let's look at the other guys here. If Craig's going to back up in the outfield, I don't also need him. So him to the minors. Pratt to the minors. Zapata to the minors? No. Okay, I had to try. Men's to the minors. And the question is, do I keep Jesus Herrera? Or do we send down one of the infielders? Okay, Morley only plays second base and first base, right? I think he's a perfectly fine player, but I'd rather have Sexton than Morley. So I think Morley goes to the minors, and I think this is our opening day roster. Oh no, it's not our opening day roster. We have too many players. I guess Einberger starts the year in the minors as well, even though I really don't want him there. No, that's not true. Or is it true? Carrying 3 catchers fucking sucks. Oh no, I'm not carrying 3 catchers anymore. Okay. I did get rid of a catcher, didn't I? I take rid of a catcher. I'm not getting rid of Galindo, who's going to start. I'm not getting rid of Shumo. I think it has to be Jeffrey Craig or Tommy Einberger. And Einberger is far more useful to me. Maybe he's not. Maybe another year in the minors would be okay for you. I feel like Craig is the problem, though, right? Like, we just seem so obsessed with his ability to pitch that we're missing sight of the fact that he's not that good a hitter. But maybe that's okay. Maybe we just roll with it. I feel like leaving Einberger on the bench is a problem, but it's not a problem that I care to solve right now. So I think we just send him to the minors, let him keep developing, and then go from there. All right, let's go to opening day, and then we'll break down what the roster looks like here. Sutton and Craig are both lovely problems to have, but also problems to have. Because they're effectively, like, okay, once every 5 days they start. That's fine. That's fine. But it's also blocking starters that should be getting more innings, which is very strange to me. I don't think I've ever seen a team have 2 two-way players on it. So that is curious indeed. Opening day roster, it's Zapata for Gaviret, basically, and Rody Bomer starting at third base. He had a really good year last year. I didn't play a ton, but if he is anything like he was last year, I think we're going to enjoy this as a new third base option. Galindo played every day last year and had a pretty good season. Some old friends up here. We love it here. One long-term consideration might be doing something about Mike Bennett, who's been slipping in the wrong direction. But I don't have any top-flight catchers to really worry about, so yeah. Oh, we have Carrillo, Jarvis, and Carmona leading off for Sutton and Craig. Um, I mean, Sutton didn't start all that often last season, but I guess we're gonna go with it. He's gonna start full time and see what he can do there, and then same with Jeffrey Craig. Bullpen wise, the big new name is nobody because all the new names I got for the bullpen ended up either going to the minors or getting released. So yeah, I think we're in good shape. Um, I think we have tremendous depth in the minor leagues. And while some people might be close to irreplaceable, I don't think anyone is absolutely irreplaceable. Zapata is on the thinnest device this year. I could see a future where he comes back at a lower salary, and I can see a future where he's just gone entirely from the Silver Wolves. So, if we look at our depth chart here, um, Sun is starting a catcher too frequently for my tastes, but I'm willing to give him that opportunity since like apparently the game thinks he can handle it. And Sexton playing third base regularly, I'm in favor of. I do want him to play somewhat regularly. I think he's got tremendous offensive upside. 1 second. I apologize, friends. My wife is making dinner for me, and it set off the smoke alarm. So, apologies if you heard that. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I'm mostly in favor of this. I don't like Sutton playing catcher so frequently, especially because I'm deeply concerned if he's going to be playing catcher and starting, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. But hey, the most replaceable guy in the lineup is Zapata, 100%. And maybe this year he bounces back and has a fantastic season, but he's been trending in the downward direction now for several seasons. So I don't know. We'll see. But that'll be for next episode. I want to thank you all for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying the series. If you are, please remember to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know how you think things are going. Maybe pour one out for Gaviret. And I hope that Zapata has a bit of a bounce back season. Until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.